today's world is a world that has accepted texting as a thing that is part of our everyday life. So it is actually important that we understand the dynamics of the kind of world, the kind of people, and the kind of expectations that we are dealing with in today's day and age. Today we are going to talk about texting, phone calls, and how to navigate these things in keeping nurturing your relationship without feeling a certain way, and just doing it right so that it doesn't look like you're too intrusive, and at the same time it doesn't look like you are exclusive or excluded from the person's life. A lot of people I've come to see, and even checking through a kind of mini survey that I'm looking at right now with somebody that asked a similar question to our topic, I see that there are people that call. So there are people that call, and this has happened countless times. To me personally, there are people that call on no numbers. I'm not talking about no numbers. They call and there's no text message. So you call 17 times as an example, and then this person doesn't then send a text message. I have to then go out to say, oh, this, that, what is happening? Would you like to send me a text or a WhatsApp message? Which is one channel that I like or I prefer to be reached. Nothing wrong with phone call as long as it can be arranged here, because a lot of times one thing that people need to understand about phone calls is that when you call, depending on who you are dealing with too, it depends on who you are dealing with. There's some people, immediately you call them, they are going to pick, and there are times where you're just going to be like, hey, I just want to just call, I don't want to have to send a text message. However, when you choose to understand the person that you have a relationship with, you know that, oh, this person prefers a text message, or this person prefers a WhatsApp message, or I'm just going to let this person know that I'll be calling the person in 1 hour's time, that it is really important, and so on and so forth. And that is what that's the underlying factor I want to talk about in today's video. I'm not just here to talk about, oh, when somebody doesn't pick your call, just send a text. Yes, that is a very basic thing that many people do not know. Many people leave 5 missed calls and no text message, and we're wondering, if that phone call was so important, why did you not leave an accompanying text to show the reason why you are calling? So that is one. On the other hand, that is something that's you watching this needs to learn. But there's an underlying factor of understanding people as well. There are some people, it doesn't matter, just call them 3 a.m., 1 a.m., 6 a.m. It is good. And it doesn't mean, just to debunk, it doesn't mean some people are now more serious than other people, or some people are busier, or some people don't have something doing compared to the people that are prefer to schedule a call. It just means that everybody has their different ways of functioning. For some people, in the middle of work, if they dare pick a call, everything, their productivity level and everything that they're trying to produce and trying to kind of like draw out at that particular time and minute is just going to be disrupted, and they would need some sort of another hour inspiration, gathering themselves, walking around, going to, if you're in the office, walking through the office corridor just to get your inspiration again, depending on the news that has been shared with you. And so that is why it is important that if you're the kind of person that will be discombobulated when you receive a phone call of any kind, oh, your best friend is getting engaged, or your best friend just lost a fiance, whatever the call is, you have to be able to protect that part of your heart, understand it, and say, okay, I know that if I'm working and I'm trying to produce, because primarily that's one of my purpose here on earth, I understand that if I receive a phone call at this particular time, it is going to distract me. So therefore, I will take phone calls from this particular time. That way, I would be able to give my best, to the people that are calling me. And that is one thing that people who call to, who just call and feel like certain people do not pick up their call should also understand. So you need to understand that person. You need to understand that. I mean, except the person is avoiding you. This is not a conversation about those avoiding or those not avoiding. That's a different conversation. And the person is avoiding you, or the person just blatantly doesn't want to speak with you. That's a different. We are not talking about that in this video. We are here talking about understanding the different people that you have in your life, the different relationships, and knowing how to navigate with them when it comes to this phone call thing, no phone call thing, text messaging. I hope and I believe I've been able to share a lot of things. And like in this mini survey that I'm checking through, we have people saying, oh, I don't pick my calls. The person asks the question, how many rings does your phone have to, how many times does your phone have to ring for you to pick the call? And you have people saying, oh, it's on silent. Oh, I don't pick my call. I mean, while I understand these people, because sometimes it's important that your phone is on silent, if you are working. And for others, if your phone is, while I understand what some of these people are maybe saying, or at least I'm trying to understand, please note that if you're a person that doesn't pick up phone calls, there should be a reason. There should be a reason. It shouldn't just be that, oh, I don't just want to pick up phone calls. Oh, I don't want to pick people, I don't want to pick my phone. It shouldn't just be reasons like that, because if everybody says they don't want to pick up everybody's phone call, then nobody is going to build nurture relationship and nobody is going to grow. Of course, stalking, people you don't know about and all that is a different case entirely. And if you are a rising public figure, you can kind of like, create some sort of texts to messages, to phone calls or numbers that you don't know, that you can actually text back respectfully to let them know that, hey, what is going on? Who are you? Can you text me? Can we start this conversation on WhatsApp? Yeah, that is very respectful, because I don't expect, I'm personally just going to be picking up random numbers all week long. So let's have that conversation on WhatsApp. Let me know who you are. Oh, you knew me from this or that platform. Then we can then arrange a phone call. So that is understandable. But my own point is, let there be a purpose beyond why you are texting, why you prefer texting, why you prefer phone calls. Because in the part 2, I will talk about this more of this particular series. It's important that we are not hiding something. We are not turning into a generation that is not nurturing relationship. It's important that we are checking through those things very importantly. It's too important. I remember one time that I was stranded in the middle of the night. Like literally in the middle of the night. I was stranded. Long story, a very long story. My husband and I, long story that I'm not going to give the details in this particular, video. And I started to call a friend of mine that was around the area that we had to stay with. Our area had some kind of funny curfew. The place we stayed, it was the place we stay at, it's a kind of funny curfew around that COVID time, for those that are aware. So once it was 10 p.m, you couldn't even get through. You are going to sleep in your car, you're going to sleep in the bus, whatever it is that you were using. So we knew that we could not even get home that day unplanned. We were not planning to be out by that time. Long story short, I began to call this my friend, like, hey, just to be like, hey, this is your area, please, can I just come over? And of course, I know she and her husband are very accommodating and they were just going to embrace it. But she wasn't picking up her phone call. And I did not have her husband's phone number. I called. It didn't happen. I just called a big sister that I wasn't planning to disturb. This is an elderly woman over 50, with her family. And I just thought that, okay, if my young couple friend, who I thought we could just quickly call in and be like, hey, how far, this is what's going on. I just want to come into your place. This was happening. You understand? Of course, you're aware of the curfew thing. We all are aware of this COVID-19 period. It was back then. Wasn't picking. I just tried to, okay, let me call someone else. And this my big sister was the one that happened to pick a call and just basically accommodated us for that night. The funniest thing is that she was going into a video. She was going to go into a video, because what I mean midnight, actually mean like really close to midnight. She was going to go into a video And she just decided that, okay, let me pick my call. I don't know. I think she had my number on that phone. Whatever the case, she could have seen it and be like, oh, I'm going into a video. I just want to pray. Like right now, I'm not picking up my phone call. Let me just pray. But she was like, oh, I think she had my number on that phone. She was like, Nkechi, what's going on? Especially by this time. And long story short, that was where we spent the night, before we were able to go back to our place the next morning as a result of the curfew. I share this story to say that, and to help you see, for those that just have some adamant rule, hey, I'm not picking phone calls, hey, don't talk to me. That's not the point of this video, but to help you create a why and to help you create a workable system. That's what I'm saying. And to those, this is also an encouragement to those who call people without texting, to also see the reason for texting. Okay, so you on the other hand, if you are there saying, oh please, nobody should call me, I don't want to talk to anybody, I share that story to encourage you that you don't know, emergency can come in at any particular point in time. And if you can, if there are times where you can, you're not producing at that time, you're not doing anything, you're not in the middle of work, don't make it a thing not to ever in your life pick phone calls. Okay, that is one way. And then for you who call people without texting, as much as possible, do try to text. You don't know where anybody is. By the way, to complete the story, that my friend by the next morning was already sleeping. Of course, I did a follow-up text and all that, but she was already sleeping by that particular point in time. So imagine I just started to be like, oh wow, hey, people are wicked, this generation, people are not picking up, but this person was sleeping. Okay, she honestly would have picked up, and that's where we would have passed the night for that particular day, but she was sleeping. So to let you know that, hey, people are not busy. Sometimes people are not busy sitting by their phone and not wanting to pick their phone call. In a nutshell, I hope that this video has helped you to understand the reason why you should text people after calling, and you also that want to deliberately avoid phone calls, to understand why that shouldn't be your motives, and you should be more open to interacting with people, but just communicating better how you like to be interacted with, especially with people that you have a relationship with, and also building some sort of system for those that you don't know. Yes, we don't know, a lot of people, strange number calls us, but the people that we know now, we started out as people that we don't know. So let us continue to build the bridge of the relationships that will change our world by understanding ourselves, which is really the basic. Understanding ourselves, understanding our why, and coming to a collaborative, workable system that would push through all that we are trying to build, advocate for, and what's the purpose that we're basically trying to live out. If you've got questions, drop it in the comment section. Please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on your notification, and I will see you in the part 2 of this video. Thank you for watching.